and players smiling.
But Michael Jordan is not only the best basketball player, but he's the most exciting basketball player to ever play.
Tatum fires away, pumps it in. 51 for Jason Tatum.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into our post-Christmas Day game edition of the Big Three NBA podcast. I'm Kwani Lunis, joined by Sherrod Blakely and Gary Washburn. How were your two Christmases?
Wonderful.
That's good.
Wonderful. Still enjoying it.
Got a whole song.
Wonderful. I'm having a good one. It's been a good one. I can't even lie. It has been really, really good. I got no issues, no complaints. I mean, I'm feeling in the spirit with Gary Washburn. I mean,
That's real.
I mean, that's real. I mean, I can't even hate on Gary right now. I can't even think of anything I can hate on him for right now. And you know, there's a ton of stuff out there, but I can't think of anything at this moment. So, yeah, I'm in the Christmas spirit still.
Love that.
How you doing, Gary Washburn, my man?
I'm good. Yeah. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, so I ain't gonna bring up none of that stuff that I ain't gonna bring up all the stuff all the dirt you done did over the years. So it's a Christmas gift. I ain't gonna bring none of that up.
Why?
I ain't gonna bring up the time. No, I ain't gonna bring up.
This is why our people can't have nice things.
Shout out to our friend Dwayne Rankin from the Arizona Republic.
Yes.
If you won't follow him on the Suns, follow him on Twitter, and follow him.
One of the best rants that we have heard in 2024.
And you check, just do us a favor, and you'll be glad you did. Anyway,
very entertained.
Very entertaining. But anyway, yeah, been a good holiday. It seemed like December went really fast. All of a sudden, it was 21st, then it was 25th. But just blessed to be here. Blessed to have family. You always got to be thankful for your family and that you're spending another year. Yeah. And all the good things that the holidays bring, and hopefully everybody looks forward and is prepared for a great 2025.
Absolutely. Well, one thing I know that Celtics fans are probably not grateful for is the fact that the Celtics did lose that Christmas Day game at the TD Garden, 118-114. And of course, it was to Philly, the Sixers. Tatum with 32 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists. Brown, 23 and 7. But no Drew Holiday because of that shoulder impingement. Overall, it was an entertaining game towards the end. But what were the biggest takeaways from that loss for Boston?
This is a bad one. I mean, they've had a couple bad ones, and this was bad. One, because of the location. Two, because of the time of year. And three, they were already coming off a disappointing performance. So you would have thought that they would have been even more locked in for this game. But they just never seem to get any kind of flow, any kind of mojo, any kind of swagger that we're used to seeing the Celtics have. And Philly played like they had nothing to lose, which in many respects they did. It was one of the few occasions where they had their big three together. And you would think that for them to beat the Celtics, it means that all three of their big three were clicking. And then you look at Paul George box line, and you're like, wait a minute, that's Paul George? I mean, if you watch the game, you're just like, nah, that ain't Paul George. That's like some little Grinch wannabe Paul George faking the funk, trying to be like Paul George on Christmas. Somebody got them little Paul George, little outfit or something. They just trying to pretend to be Paul George. Nah, that was really Paul George. He has not been that good, even when he has been healthy for the Sixers. And 4 for 15 most nights is not going to cut it to beat a team like Boston. But Boston, they just didn't. Again, they just didn't put their imprint on the game the way they are typically used to doing. And you can go down the line after you get past Tatum and Brown. The guy that typically steps up, Peyton Pritchard, was horrible. I think he was like, 1 for 9, I think, shooting or something like that. So he was a non-factor. And then you look at the guys in those reserve roles, no one really stepped up to fill the void that Drew Holiday's absence had created. And frankly, not only did they fail to do that, but they failed to do the roles that they normally, occupy. And Philly was just making everything and then some. And we'll talk a little bit about it later. But, I mean, this was a game where just the Celtics, they didn't put their imprint on a game that you would have thought they would have played with a little bit more force, a little bit more focus. And the end result is you catch an L. That's what happens in the league.
Yeah, I thought the Celtics just came out slow. I just think they're not playing well. They're just playing with a real kind of lackadaisical attitude, with a real laxness, and it's something that's going on. Like, I'm not talking about like there's controversy or anything like that. Just could be fatigue. Although they had all this time off during the in-season tournament to get some rest and things like that. But you come off this game against Orlando where you're up 15 at halftime and you just literally blow it and melt down in the fourth quarter against a bunch of kind of no-names, Tristan Da Silva and Trevelyan Queen, and they had 3 of their top 4 scorers. So you think, like Sherrod said, you'd be mad. And you just kind of, stumble into the Philadelphia game. And the Sixers got talent. They haven't played well this season. They've gotten up. I think they've got off to a 2-13 start. But they ever since then, I think they're now 11-17. So they're like 9, and they're like Milwaukee. They're starting to get it back. Okay, so they're going to be around in the playoff race. They're going to be, they're going to find their way, and they're finding their way. And you got Embiid, George, and Maxey, and then you just let Maxey just like have his way. 16 points in the first half. To me, the defense has slipped. They turned the ball over too much. 6 turnovers in the first quarter. They just didn't. The crowd never really got into it to the last few minutes of the game. It was obviously full house Christmas Day. Everybody's feeling good, and the fans were just sort of like, give us a reason to cheer. And the Celtics just came out, fell behind early. I mean, it was a disappointing performance. Defensively, this team has some issues. And like Sherrod said, the bench gave them nothing. I looked at the guy I focused on is Sam Hauser, and it's sort of starting to become a concern because if you look at Hauser, okay, I'm looking at Hauser last few ball games. Okay, Hauser in December against Sherrod's Pistons at home, his last good game, he had 20 points, or he had 2 good games. The Detroit and Milwaukee, he had 9 threes, he had 36 total points. He comes back against Memphis, he plays 9 minutes, he's 0 for 2, no points. A couple nights later at Washington, he has 12 points. Okay, it's the Wizards. But the last 2 games, he's played 30 total minutes, and he's gotten up 1 shot, 0 for 1. No goose eggs in the last 2 games, the Orlando and Philadelphia game. Like, they got to have something from him. And then, as you guys saw, they thrown him out on defense against Tyrese Maxey. And it's just, it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. It's a mismatch. Maxey views that as a disrespectful move, and he should.
As he should.
Yeah.
And he cooked them. And, you can't, we asked Missoula, what do y'all do against Maxey? Because y'all don't seem to defend him well. This is not new. He went off in the playoff series. He's gone off. Well, you make him go left, and you don't want him like, he took some shots we wanted him to take. Like, he cooked you guys, right? 33 points. And then and I'm gonna pull Dwayne Rankin here. I don't even want to talk about. I ain't gonna bring up Caleb Martin. I ain't gonna bring that dude up. I mean, when the Celtics gonna learn? When the hell are the Celtics gonna learn? This dude just does well against you. It is you. It's a you problem. You can go.
Ain't gonna bring that up.
Yeah, I ain't gonna bring it up.
You gonna bring up that he was killing when he was in Miami.
I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna do y'all solid. I'm gonna stall y'all out. Say the old cats. I'm gonna stall you out. I know the young people don't know what that means. When you stall somebody out, or stall him out, like you gave him a break.
Oh,
I ain't gonna bring that up. I ain't gonna bring up that he cooked them. He killed them in the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago. Same dude.
Yeah, sure.
And you just leave him open for threes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was 30%. I get it. 30% entering the game. It's you. You know that. Some dudes just cook the Celtics. We have a list.
Mm-hmm.
Ish Smith is on that list. That's another one.
Ish Smith.
Yeah.
Some dudes just cook the Celtics.
I ain't gonna bring up Ish Smith how he cooked. We ain't gonna bring that up.
Don't bring it up.
Mo Wagner. They're just certain dudes that just kill the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
He is one of them. He's on the top of the list. You gotta after the third one. maybe you say, okay, it's his night. Like, we got to – nope, you just keep letting him shoot him. And he goes 7 for 9. Like, that's losing basketball. Mm-hmm. Just sticking – we're not going to adjust. We're going to stick to this game plan. We're going to hope he starts missing. Like, no. These are NBA guys. You guys watch the pregame. Dudes be hitting 8, 9 threes in a row, and you're like, damn, that dude ain't even a three-point shooter. These dudes do practice this shot. Right. So there's times where they're going to get hot. And to me, I just think they need some adjustments. They need some leadership. The bench needs to be better. We talked about Peyton Pritchard is now in a slump. He was 0 for 8 from 3. He's 3 for his last 19. Teams are starting to really defend him hard. Like, he has gotten on the scouting report. They know, okay, when this dude comes in the game, he's a shooter. He's going to spark the team. And so you don't have that spark coming off the bench. You don't have Hauser scoring anything. He literally took one shot in his last 30 minutes. He missed it. So where's your bench? So you're depending on the starters. No Jrue Holiday. Porzingis got hurt. We'll see how that goes and how long he's out. So this team has issues, and they got Indiana coming up. Indiana's playing well. So who knows? But I ain't gonna bring that up though.
No, don't bring that up. We'll actually get into that right before we wrap up this episode. But the Celtics, as you pointed out, have lost now back-to-back games, the first time this season. Injury, illness, there's so many concerns at this point, but I'm going to have you both pick and roll. Is it a big deal, much ado about nothing, or somewhat concerning that they've had these back-to-back losses?
What you think, Gary?
It's a concern. I mean, this team is, as I wrote last night, 37-4 at home last season. This season, 11-5. They've already lost more home games. We're not even in December yet than they did all of last year. So I'm not sure what they've got to. Obviously, you want to get healthy, and health is an issue. But you got to start playing some defense. You got to make some statements. I mean, you can't always just be chucking the threes and think that's going to save you, and you're not scoring in the paint. You're giving up. You're not getting any stops. Great. It's great to shoot threes. Hey, we all love the three ball, but last night, 20 for 49, they hit 20 of them. All 20 were by their starters. All their starting lineup had really good days from the three-point line. All of them hit half their threes. White, Brown, Porzingis, Horford, and Tatum all hit half their threes. So you would think they would win that game, and they lost. And they lost. The defense was not there. They gave up 17 threes. They gave up. Philly went to the line 19 times. You're fouling too much. You're not playing good defense. So they got some problems they have to address. And it's just not, we're going to get out of this. We're good. No. Like, you got to play your way out of this. They got to play hard 100% of the time. Quit being lackadaisical. These stretches. You come out against Orlando. You're up 15 at halftime. And I was at that game. They should have been up more. They had chances to go up 20. Then you allow a 7-0 run to begin the second half, and the game was completely changed. And you're letting two-way guys get you. You're letting teams shove you around. And then you come into this game and you don't play with no fire. You don't play like you mad. You play like, they're a losing team. We're just going to blow them off the court with threes. No, the three is a great weapon to have, but to me, you got to defend. It doesn't matter. Teams are starting to, one, counter the Celtics three-point shooting, and two, they're being more physical with them. You're pushing them around. The Celtics are getting known as Sherrod. You don't want to get known as a soft team. Mm-hmm. Push them around. What are they going to do? Nothing. Complain to the officials. And the Celtics got to start pushing back.
Yeah, I mean, I think these two losses, I think it's a big deal because to me it amplifies the concerns that some had with this defending NBA champion, and that is they would not play with the same level of aggression, same level of consistency, the same level of focus and fire that they did a year ago. And you understand that they can still be a really good team and do that, but the problem right now appears to be is they haven't figured out that happy medium between playing with a certain level of focus and fire and going all out. Because if they went all out every game, they could beat every team they play pretty much by damn near 20, 30 points. We saw that last year. That's kind of how this season went. It looks as though they're trying to figure out how can we be have a little bit more juice, a little bit more gas in the tank at the end of the season, but still be really good in the process. And what happens is that we get games like these last two games where they ease up on that too much and can't finish teams off. And part of that is because so many of the part-time players who aren't Tatum, aren't Brown, but are integral to their success are not getting it done. If Peyton Pritchard goes into a slump and you have Sam Hauser not knocking down shots and you're not getting any other juice off the bench and you have guys like Drew Holiday who misses a game here and there because of illness, or Al with load management, or Porzingis with an injury, you now all of a sudden you have a lot more instability with your squad than you had. And that instability is going up against teams that are looking at you as the standard that they want to be, and they're playing their best basketball. You start looking at just the shooting numbers and split numbers for the teams that typically beat the Celtics, and those teams, when they beat Boston, that's usually one of, if not their best game of the season. And that's the kind of competition that you're facing on a night in, night out basis. And if you're Boston, you can't afford to just kind of put it in cruise mode and beat teams the way you think you can. Because right now, as Gary pointed out earlier, teams are starting to figure out how to get to be the best version of themselves on a little bit more consistent basis. And those are the teams that the Celtics are starting to see. And those are the teams that, if we're being honest and keeping it real, those are the teams that are kicking their ass. And if they don't figure this out, they're going to be doing the same thing this summer that you and I are going to be doing, and that's watching basketball. And that's not what they want to do. That's not the plan. That's not the goal. That's not the expectation, particularly when you go all in on the championship team that you had a year ago and bring them all back, and yeah, I don't want to bring up the fact that, it's been damn near a decade since the team repeated as champions, because they typically don't play as hard as they did. I'm not going to bring up the fact that that soft label that you touched on is a label that the Celtics really up until the last couple of years have been trying so damn hard to shed. That was part of who they were perceived as being. And it looks like they're having moments where they look like that team from 2, 3, 4 years ago that many, frankly, if we just physical with them, that will be enough to beat them. And the last couple of games, even though the Celtics, the numbers may show that they've done pretty good on the boards, that does not reflect the physicality that they are, frankly, receiving from teams. And to be candid, they're not responding to accordingly. So this is a big deal, these two losses. And the next couple of games they got coming up against a feisty team like Indiana that in many ways is kind of like Orlando and Philadelphia as far as teams that there are great expectations for. They struggled out the gate, and now they're starting to figure some things out. And this game is going to be a much tougher game now than it would have been if they played like 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. All right. And before we go any further, I want to just shout out our good friends at Prize Picks, which is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in rewarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. And make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports teams play. And again, you can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. So for Gary Washburn, you can hook your boy up with some post-Christmas gifts, because you will have the money to do that, my man. Join now, because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Who does not love Taco Tuesday? Facts. For Prize Picks each Tuesday, they discount select player projections up to 25%, even more value for your lineup. So sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And here's what you got to do. You just download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
All right, we've talked enough about the loss, so let's switch up the rundown a little bit and get into some fun superlatives as we close out the year for the Celtics. So I'm going to give you 5 categories. We'll go by category. We'll start with the first one. Most likely to succeed.
Most likely to succeed for the Celtics. You know what? I'm going to go with my man Peyton Pritchard. And here's why. Here's why. This is a dude that said, if y'all not going to play me, trade me. And so they said, okay, we're going to play you. And not only has he played well, he has far exceeded his contract, what he's getting paid now. And to me, those are the building blocks of a guy that's going to be successful. Someone who is willing to bet on himself that, yeah, I know you got the 6th man of the year. And yeah, I know you got the defensive player of the year. But damn it, I'm Peyton Pritchard. And they were like, yeah, you Peyton Pritchard. And to me, again, when I think about people who succeed, that's the kind of confidence that you got to have that you are him. Even when you have shown absolutely no signs of anyone other than your mom, your daddy, your girlfriend, and your BFFs that you are him. So to me, that's what I think about when I think of people who are likely to succeed with that kind of unshakable faith in themselves.
I like it.
I don't know. Most likely to succeed. I'm gonna go with hopefully I'm gonna go Kristaps Porzingis.
Okay.
Okay, they're not being okay.
I think he'll get it together. I think he'll get his health right. And I have no. I think he'll have that impact. I think he'll get stronger as the season goes on. I think they'll manage his minutes, but I think he'll have a big impact down the road. I think right now he's still trying to, as they say, get his legs under him. And he's going through some ups and downs physically, but I think he will have definitely an impact on this team. And he'll succeed. Yeah, I'm just gonna go out.
Pretty good, Gary.
Yeah, I like where these are going already. Yeah, I'm
just gonna jump out and give him. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
Give him some props.
Okay.
All right. I know you guys see the rival videos. I know you see them at the podium post game. Who do you think is the best dressed?
That's a good one.
It is.
Because they put him on a big screen, and people were just like, I don't know about him, but I like Jay Springer's style. I like his swag.
Okay.
I like his swag. He is very different, very unique. He is his own guy, and it don't matter whether he don't play. It's about that swag. If you didn't know that he didn't play, you would think that he was like a rotation starter playing 28 minutes a night on a bad night, and he just got that swag about him. I'm just like, okay, I respect that. And his dress, the way he dresses has a lot to do with that confidence that he has. So much respect to Springer.
Dress for the job you want.
Facts.
I'm gonna go again with Porzingis. I like when he dresses up. I mean, he dresses. He wears nice suits,
very clean.
Yeah, he definitely has that great tailor that up with the 7'3" suits.
Right.
You better have a great tailor.
Yeah, everything. He don't get nothing off the rack, obviously, and it fits him well. He can definitely bring it. And I'm going to my old school situation here, my old school status of I like when these dudes kind of wear suits every now and then. I like when they dress up. I like when they take it seriously and they're not all wearing, stuff that's just like, what is that?
What are those?
Yeah, they looking like they went to a used clothes store and just pick stuff out, and just throw it on and like, oh, this is look at my fit, I like when they coordinate. I like when they have nice colors. I like when they wear they dress for the occasion. I'm not saying that these guys, none of them do. There's no real terrible dressers on the Celtics. Guys, you're like, man, what the hell is he wearing? There's some casual guys, But I like Porzingis is just kind of like he can bring it. He'll come out with a suit every now and then. And Sherrod, as you know, when we first started covering the league back in the day, like suits were normal. Like guys wore suits to the arena, they wore suits for their interviews. Like it was the end of the Michael Jordan era. And as you know, like now,
that's why AI was so controversial because he changed the game in that sense.
Because when Michael, the last few years, everybody kind of was like, be like Mike. Mm-hmm. And Mike set the tone of like, you wear suits to the game. You go and your teammates would get you, your veteran teammates might hook you up with a tailor. The guy that did the tailor who did the team, the local guy in the city who would hook you up, and you get 5-6 suits, and these guys would wear suits to the games. They would wear suits for their post-game interviews. They would not, they wouldn't, it was just a different time. And Porzingis kind of brings me back to that, where these guys, where every now and then, I'm not saying you got to wear one every day. This is not the old days. The coaches don't even wear suits anymore, but it's good to see a player just kind of, say, hey, today I'm gonna look 100%. I'm gonna look like $1 million, as opposed to like, some of the stuff and they be wearing, like, and it's not the young. I remember Portland came in last year. There was like Scoot Henderson and some of these guys that are like 20 and 21, and it, like, my man, it'd be hurting your eyes. Be like, oh my God, like, what is this? What's going on here? Like, who said that was who signed off on this fashion? Like, who said that's a good look, man? You should wear that. Yeah, like, I don't know who said that, but I'm gonna give it to Porzingis is best dressed.
I think it's safe to say your burner account is one by the name of Vinny Goodwill on X, because he tweeted that or posted that on Christmas Day, saying, as the unofficial New Year of the NBA season, why aren't coaches wearing suits today?
Going back to suits, let's do this. Whole like pullover and then they pull over with a suit. Kwani, they all wear black ones. They all look alike. They're like matching. It's like, y'all are the coaches coordinating?
Right.
Like nobody wears red or green. Everybody just wears the black one. So it's like no colors, no design. I don't like it. I don't like this. I like the suit. I like the suit phase.
Team suit.
Okay.
All right. Moving on. Class clown.
Who you got, Gary? I got
one. A tough one.
Not really.
They used to be an obvious one.
Yeah.
Man, that's a hard one.
That's how I feel. See.
While you think about it, Gary, I'll jump in.
Go ahead.
To me, the class clown has got to be Luke. It has to be Luke. He's the one guy that is out there on the floor playing that you're just like, why is he playing? And then you listen to guys talk about him in the locker room.
In general?
Yeah, in general, he keeps things lively. He keeps things loose, and his sense of humor has a lot to do with that. I mean, this dude makes freaking lemon squares. Which and when he talks on the podium, it feels like an engaging conversation with someone who's just, doesn't feel like an interview. It feels like you're having a conversation. He'll have some lighthearted moments, and he'll make some little dry dad jokes here and there. Yeah. And to me, you can kind of see how a guy like that has value in your locker room, besides what he does on a basketball court, but just his comfort level with who he is, what he can do, and not being, putting up some kind of facade about, man, I'm just glad to be here. He is that, but at the same time, he wants you to just kind of see a little bit of who he is. I mean, Luke, just watching him play and some of the stuff that he does on the court and on the sideline, you can tell that from a sense of humor standpoint, he's probably the one guy that's the most loosey-goosey in that locker room. And you need guys like, you need a player or two like that. Now I'm not talking about, you don't need the big baby Davis type loosey-goosey, because that's a different kind of loose.
Yeah.
That's yeah, right. Him and Nate Robinson and them guys back in the day. Mm-hmm. But you definitely need someone who doesn't take this game too seriously. It's a serious game, but damn it, you play basketball at the end of the day. So
yeah, the last 2 years at the Shamrock Foundation Gala, Luke has emceed a portion of the event, and there's usually a lot of comedy surrounding it. And he's just naturally funny, you can tell.
Exactly.
But also intelligent, so it ties in very well.
Yeah. I mean, the Vanderbilt grad, and and just his journey. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Just his whole journey to get into the NBA.
Yeah.
He came in as a guy who was a stretch big, and he don't shoot stretch. He doesn't stretch the floor at all. I'm still trying to wrap my arms around that concept. Guys that come into the league. I mean, who comes to the league supposed to be like an elite defender, and they become a great 3-point shooter, and their defense is trash? That doesn't happen.
Opposite.
but that's the Luke Cornett story. Stretch big, who doesn't stretch the floor. He just plays. All right, Gary.
You going out, or you want to go with Luke as well?
We can keep moving if you want to go, Gary. If you ain't got nobody.
Class clown. Hold on. I'll go Derek White. He's always a fun-loving guy.
Yeah, I like that.
Fun-loving guy. Doesn't take himself too seriously.
Got his own beer. I'm
all for the Derek White.
Yeah.
Great job. That was a good one. Yeah. All right. The best tandem.
Oh, this is easy. It's got to be Brown and Gary's boy from Latvia. That bromance is unlike any bromance we've seen because they get brothers. Yeah, because the thing that it did more than anything else, it made Jaylen Brown, I think, a little bit more palatable to folks who weren't feeling him the way they should have been feeling him. Like Jaylen is Jaylen is a really intelligent guy who thinks through a lot of things, but people are like, but how does he really work with like his teammates? Like they like him and they work with him, but does he rock with anybody? Is there anybody that he's like down with? And here comes this 7'3" dude from Latvia, which is nowhere near Marietta, Georgia. And yet you would think that they grew up in the same hood, went to the same corner store, ate the same popsicles, just the way that they interact with each other. And it's great to see. And I don't know if there's another tandem on this team that is more just blatantly obvious that they like each other the way Porzingis and Jaylen are. So to me, that's the best tandem I got.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm gonna go with Tatum and Derek White. They're like,
that's another one too.
these guys are best buds, and they like each other, and they sometimes dress alike in terms of they wear the headbands together in one game. I think that they're a funny tandem. They've really bonded over the last couple of years, obviously. Yeah. So people don't know. It's kind of developed this year. I think people were like, thought they was cool and all that, but now they're totally doing their thing in terms of like just being teammates, brothers, and just you can tell that they're very close. They joke and laugh with each other in the locker room. So I'm going to say the dynamic duo of Derek White and Jason Tatum.
That podium moment that they had.
You found out his favorite?
Yeah. And he looked at him like that was priceless.
Who was his favorite? Was it Al?
It was Al.
Yeah, Al was I mean, it makes sense though. It's Al.
Right. But the reaction is like, wait.
The betrayal.
I thought we was fair. What is this? No, that was good. That's a good one, Gary.
Yeah. Well, from a business perspective, the third one would be Peyton Pritchard and Jaylen Brown, because the fact that he wears his performance gear and just obviously he's getting paid to do it, but I think that says a lot when you're willing to vouch for a teammate's brand, especially knowing that he's up against a Nike and an Adidas. So I think that relationship is admirable and just that business sense also.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite bromance, which they're not teammates now, obviously, because one is here and one's not, but Peyton and Blake Griffin, I enjoyed that tandem. That was a really good one, because that was like, wait a minute.
You would never nothing
young fella, you don't play. Big fella, Hall of Famer, right. jumping over kids in the All-Star weekend.
Best friends.
And y'all, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I enjoy that.
Yeah. All right. Finally, King of the Court. The Big Kahuna Prize.
I'm going to take this one, Gary.
Go ahead.
It has to be Al freaking Horford.
Hey.
It has to be Al, because here's the thing. If you vote for anyone else, they would say, nah, it's got to be Big Al.
Look at him on Christmas. That man, age what? Age who?
The thing, Al is, no matter what role you ask him to be in, whether it's on or off the court, Al is just him. Mm-hmm. He's always that dude that you respect. He's always that dude that's like basically, you know, he has a presence about him that sets him apart from everyone else on his team. And the crazy part about Al is that you look at Al now at what, I think he's 38, 39 years old. Al pretty much looked the same as he did when he was 28, 29 years old. So you not only is he have that stately presence, but the brother don't age. Does not age. His game might age, but he don't.
That Dominican
that's
blood.
The king. That's the king. That's the king right there. That's some king stuff right there. When you have that presence. And you know, I mean, how many players in the league is he considered their daddy? I mean, Giannis at one point, he was Giannis' daddy. Embiid, he was his daddy. That's some kids. Yeah, exactly. He is sonning these kids. There are very few players who son as many players as Al Horford has. Mm-hmm. That's some king action right there. Absolutely. That's your king of the court.
King of the court. Yeah, you can say Al, I guess. I mean, that's a pretty good one.
I knew I would win him over.
Jason, because he's a dad, and he's always see Deuce, and you know, he's probably, you know, arguably the best player on the team, him or Jalen. So I would, you know, I don't have a strong one on this one. You know, Sherrod took Al, and he went, you know, he pleaded the campaign for Al, so I'm all for that.
We're just on the bandwagon.
Exactly. Just waving my Al flag.
Right.
I don't have a strong take on this one.
All right.
Al it is.
Well done.
And before we go too much further, I want to give a shout out to our good friends at Game Time. And it is that time of year when folks all over the world are in the giving mood. And nothing shows you care for that sports aficionado or that music fan than a chance to see the favorite team play or artist perform. And Game Time has you covered with great ticket prices on all types of sporting events as well as concerts. When I'm thinking about going to a football game, which I have been lately because the Syracuse Orange are in a bowl game this year, the first place I think about looking into getting tickets is Game Time. I know, Gary, your Cal Cubbies, you've had a few games this year where there might have been a chance that you might check them out. I know Kwani and your BC Pigeons, Eagles, do what they do. They're in a bowl game. They've been in a bowl game as well. And again, for those of us who still have bowl games to be played, the place to be is Game Time. One of the really cool things about the Game Time app is that you have all-in pricing, and that shows you the total price before you get to the checkout, and you get also a panoramic view of your seats before you actually get to checkout, so you can actually check out those sight lines before you have to actually buy your tickets. And again, to get in on this, all you have to do is download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's download the app, create an account, and use the code CLNS for $20 off. Terms apply. What time is it? Game time.
All right. As we look ahead, we'll wrap up, but let's talk about that game on Friday. Indiana twice, back-to-back actually, and then Toronto on Tuesday. What are your expectations for those two games against Indiana, and then, of course, that Toronto game?
On paper, it should be good games. I think the Celtics are going to blow them out both times. I think the Celtics are going to have one of those, you know, come to the altar moments where they realize, okay, look, we need to start flexing and letting these folks know that we still the champs. And these are two games against a team that, you know, it's a very playoff-like setting where you're playing the same team at home back-to-back times with like a day in between, very much what you were going to be doing in the playoffs. It's that time where the Celtics have to take advantage of these opportunities to remind folks why they're the champs and why, if you happen to see them in April or May, this is what you might be in store for. It's about, I mean, and Gary, you kind of know where I'm going with this. It's about guarding your turf. It's about letting them recognize they can't just roll up on your block and take over your hood. And that, to me, is where the Celtics are. They got to remind folks that they're the champs and that this whole NBA space, This is their hood. They're the champs. They run this thing. And these are the opportunities where they get a chance to remind folks of just how good they are. And more importantly, just how they are the standard, not you on a come up. We are here. You're trying to come up to us, and we need to put you back where you belong in your place. And this is an opportunity to do that. I expect them to play very well. I expect to see some of their best basketball these next couple games.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that.
I know you're not, Gary, because you just Gary.
Yeah, I'm just Gary. I think Indiana, 2 tough games. They've had great battles with the Pacers over it, and they've lost to the Pacers already this year. I think the Pacers are playing well. They won at Sacramento. They won at Golden State. They are playing well. So, to me, those are going to be 2 difficult games. Siakam, Halliburton, Nembhard, Mathurin, guys who can put the ball in the hoop. They're going to have to be ready, and they just can't lean into these games and play one good half and expect to win, or expect, hey, we're going to rally, so we're going to shoot a bunch of 3-pointers. Like, even if you get 3-pointers, even if you're making them, if they found out against Philadelphia, they were 20 for 49, they were 40% from 3. Usually teams that hit 23s are going to win. You got to get stops. You can't allow 36-point quarters. Your defense has to be better. You can't leave guys wide open who are killing you from the 3. It's that night. The same, like, it wasn't Embiid. Embiid had a solid night, but he was a minus 18. They won that game with Embiid on the bench, the early 4th quarter. They didn't bring him back in till like 4 minutes left. They're trying to rest my man. My man, he don't have the endurance he used to. So they won that game without Embiid. They were better. They were plus 22 with Embiid out of the game. That says a lot. So those are other guys getting in your ass, and you got to be better than that. And you can't underestimate these. These are NBA players. You can't think, oh, we'll just hit 3s. We'll just get Sam to hit a couple of 3s. We'll get Peyton to come into the game and hit some 3s, and we'll be fine. No, that's not going to solve your problems. You got to be a better defensive team. You got to have, like Sherrod said, you got to guard your yard. You already got 5 losses at home, and you had 4 all of last year. That's embarrassing. 11-5. And here come the New York Knicks. Remember, the Celtics, I think, were 6 or 7 games up on the Knicks a couple of weeks ago. Now they're 2. The Knicks are playing better. Like, them getting the number 2 seed isn't even guaranteed at this point, because Orlando's going to get healthy, and they're going to start playing better because they're just going to be better with their talent. The Knicks have found something. They're lighting it up. Bridges is playing well. Towns is playing well. Like, they're getting guys. Teams are coming at the Celtics. They're not intimidated and they're not scared. And the Celtics got to respond back with some swagger and exert their power over these teams, as opposed to letting them in the game, starting out slow, and then also too, guys, missing free throws. I mean, just Jalen missed 2 key free throws. Like, you're missing free throws. Jason missing free throws. Like, just things that are just sloppy basketball that you can help, getting technicals, like just stuff that's just like, like something's got to end, and you can't just shoot 3s to make everything better. Like, in 3-point, shoot your way out of this. You're gonna have to come as a team, play harder. There was one play last night where, like, Gershon, and it was good to see him and talk to him after last night's game. He's playing well. Like Keith Pompey, our friend in Philadelphia, said he's been the most consistent Sixer this season, right? Our friend Gershon, everybody made fun of Gershon, and now he's got himself together. He's obviously older, more mature, got his body together and everything. But there was one play where the Celtics desperately need a rebound, and Gershon just went for the ball and just beasted the ball from, like, guys. He out-hustled them. He chased a rebound down. When's the last time a Celtic, besides Derek White, it's just beasted for offensive rebound? It didn't land in his head. He just like, no, mine. Like, no, like, all, what I'm saying? Like, I'm giving us another possession. I'm going to assume this guy's going to miss the 3, and I'm going to get the board. I'm hitting the board. It's like, they got to get back to basics. And so I don't think this will be any type of an easy stretch. You would think 2 games against Indiana, then 1 against Toronto. Then the schedule gets hard. You got that road trip, Minnesota, Houston, Oklahoma City, Denver. Yeah. So they're going to find out about themselves if they don't know already. So they got to get it together. I don't think it's going to be easy.
All right. Well, that's a wrap on this week's episode. Before we go, though, we asked that one gift from all of our listeners and viewers. As you may have heard in a previous episode, we are actually one of the finalists for the best basketball podcast in the Sports Podcast Awards. So all you have to do is go to sportspodcastgroup.com/shortlist categories, go to the best basketball category, find the big 3, which is actually right on top because I think it's in alphabetical order. Vote for us once or twice, and closing for those votes actually end January 13th. So you have a lot of time to do that. Tell a friend that you also think like this podcast because we're trying to win, baby. But that's all. That's the only thing we ask for. If you don't want to do that, just give us a review or, write a comment. Just engage. Stay engaged. We appreciate that everyone that has been with us up until this time with the end of the year. It's actually, we started this in December 2020, right, Sherrod?
Something like that.
Yeah. Wow.
It's been a minute.
4 years. So
and then we added Gary. Why?
Yeah. Who made it better?
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Exactly.
Happy holidays, Gary. That's what I was thinking. You made it better. Yeah,
I ain't gonna bring up.
Oh my God, the perfect way to close this out.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Happy holidays to all of our viewers and listeners, and we'll be back before the new year. So thank you for listening, and enjoy the rest of the week.